Hey, special educators, I'm Jennifer from Positively Learning. Welcome to the Special Educators Resource Room. If you're like me, you're always looking for ways to save time and streamline your work. That's why this podcast was created, to give you the systems and solutions you need to get your time back. Tune in for tips, tricks, and tools that will help you manage your workload and make the most of your time. Whether you're brand new or experienced, all are welcome in the Special Educators Resource Room. Welcome to episode 52 of the Special Educators Resource Room. Hey, special educators, it's Jennifer from Positively Learning. I cannot believe we've made it 52 episodes. That's an entire year, and I cannot thank you enough for your support. I've had a blast coming up with topics, answering questions, sharing tips that worked for me. It has been so much fun, and it has flown by. We're not done yet. From the title of this episode, you may think we are. I did that on purpose. I want to split this episode into two different parts. The first part is a send-off, a recap of 2023, because I know many teachers are going to be logging off for the holidays, for winter break, and I applaud you. But I also want to keep going because there are many of you who are thinking, this is actually the time I'm going to be able to binge listen and get some new ideas so that I can go into the new year with a fresh start. So whichever side that you're on, there's something for everyone. This episode is going to include a lot of links, and I'm going to put them in the show notes. If you're on your phone, you can access the show notes by going to the specific episode 52, and scrolling down, you'll see all the show notes there, and you can click on those links. I also send out an email on Wednesdays after the episode airs, and I put all the links in there. So let me know. I can forward that email to you if you're not on the list. And then I also have this on my Positively Learning blog website. There's a menu up at the top, and there's a button that says podcast. If you click on that, you're going to be able to access the notes there. Let me know if you have any trouble finding any specific link. All right. So the first link is for everyone who is listening. It is a link to the blog post called Special Educators To-Do List, and it is a play on words because it's actually a not to-do list. If you've had any trouble establishing boundaries and having those around you respect them, this download is for you. It's a free checklist for special educators, and it is called a not to-do list. Here's what you're not going to do. Things that are out of your control, things that waste your time, others' responsibilities, things that are not needed, things I think I have to do, and my personal favorite, things I think only I can do. All right, so this is a free checklist. It's on my website. I'll put the link in the show notes. Maybe you could fill it out and then just discreetly leave it on the copier or the kitchen counter. Whoops, did I leave that out? My bad. The next resource I want to share with you is the set of free professional development playlists. If this sounds familiar, I shared this way back when in episode 31, and I'm going to link to a blog post. I'll put it in the show notes. With this blog post, you can access the playlists and the podcast episode. So what these playlists were, there were 4 different lists. I curated different blog posts, different freebies, and different podcast episodes. I think a YouTube video too. And I put them into categories. And the categories were the IEP process, data tracking, paraprofessionals, and task boxes. And I asked you, at the time, this is around summertime, I asked you just to pick one category and follow the playlist. That's it, so that you can concentrate on one thing, get the information that you need without getting completely overwhelmed because you were headed back to school. Well, now it's check-in time. How did it go with that category? Do you want to go back and click on those resources and review? Or are you ready to choose a brand new category? Maybe you were working with the IEP process. Now that you know what your students need, you're ready to dive into the task boxes. Or maybe you were focusing supporting paraprofessionals in your classroom, and now you want to look at data tracking so that everybody can pitch in. Okay, this next piece of information I want to share is for those of you who are about to log off and say, see you in 2024. It is a link to a blog post with a podcast episode all about what to do when you come back from winter break. Go ahead and just give it a quick listen now so that when you log off, you know you're covered. You don't even need to think about it until January. All right, the first part of this podcast episode is over. So if you are logging off, I'll see you next year. If you're sticking around, I have a little bit more left for you. I love this time of year where there's always recaps of the previous 12 months. Maybe it's sharing memories or the top 5 stories of 2023. And you're listening thinking, that was 2023? That seems so long ago. I totally forgot about it. Well, I want to share some top 5 moments from 2023 from the data that I can collect on my end. So let's start with YouTube. The Positively Learning YouTube channel only had 15 new videos in 2023. I promise I have a plan to do better in 2024. So I'm going to give you the most viewed of all time. I think that's going to be a little bit more helpful. All right, number 5 is the IEP binders. What do you need to put in them? Number 4, how can special educators use ChatGPT to save time? That does not surprise me. I thought that would rank higher. All right, number 3, IEP goal writing. Number 2, resource room routines, special education teacher organization, and the most watched video is steps to better data collection in special education. So I will put a link to the Positively Learning YouTube channel in the show notes. Be sure to check those out. Let me know if you have any requests because I'm going to be on it in 2024. The next top 5 list I want to share with you are the top free downloads on the Positively Learning blog shop. So this is the store that's on the Positively Learning website. All right, free downloads. Number 5, daily schedules. Number 4, a test prep free goal tracker. Number 3, free goal setting. I see a theme here. Number 2, the Paraprofessional Appreciation Sticky Notes download. And the top free download on the Positively Learning blog shop are the Special Education Teaching Binder templates. So I will put a link to the blog shop in the show notes so you can be sure to grab those freebies. The last top 5 list I want to share with you are the top 5 most listened to podcast episodes. And this list took me by surprise. If I was looking over all 52 episodes, these are not the episodes I would have chosen. So I want to share that with you to see what you think. But I also really want to spend time reflecting on this because as I move forward, I want to make sure this is helpful. That was the entire point of this podcast. And I want to make sure I'm aligned on the topics that you want to hear and not just what I want to talk about. The top 5 most listened to podcast episodes. Number 5, fitting data collection into everyday instruction. Number 4, listen to this before setting up your classroom. Number 3, special education paperwork organization in minutes. Number 2, using work samples for data collection. And the top most listened to episode of 2023 is the first week of school for special educators. That one surprised me. Did any of those surprise you? I so appreciate anyone listening to this podcast in general. Listen to whatever episodes you want, and I will continue to try my best to get topics that are going to be just right for you. And speaking of that, it's time to wrap up this hodgepodge episode and share the topic for next week. Next week's episode is all about what I do when I am looking at a brand new to me IEP. So say it's a new student, say it's at the beginning of the school year, a new student I'm going to be working with. What do I do when I receive an IEP and I begin to look through it? So that is the episode topic for next week. I hope you join me. If not, it'll be there for you when you're ready. Thank you so much for celebrating 52 episodes with me. I can't wait to share 52 more. If you have found this podcast helpful, I would very much appreciate it if you'd share with a colleague or leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts. It really helps get the word out and I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Catch you next time. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'm dying to ask, what'd you think? Be sure to hit the follow or subscribe buttons so that you never miss an episode. You can find the show notes and links for everything mentioned in this episode at positivelylearningblog.com. See you next week for more special education solutions.